My name is Mowbrey, and today I'm taking you on a journey to explore 10 of the loneliest towns in Canada. Featured town, Fogo Island, Newfoundland. Canada is the second largest country in the world, defined by its immense, untamed wilderness. Beyond the vibrant cities lies another Canada, remote towns where life is shaped by the seasons and the raw power of nature. These communities are built on resilience, where neighbors rely on each other for survival. In this chapter, we highlight Fogo Island, Newfoundland, one of the loneliest and most remote places in the country. Today, we'll explore 10 of the loneliest towns in Canada, places where populations are tiny, winters are harsh, and the nearest city is hundreds of kilometers away. What is it like to live where the world feels so far away? Let's find out. Tilt Cove, Newfoundland. Our journey begins here, Canada's smallest incorporated town with a population you can count on one hand. That's right, Tilt Cove. Once a booming mining town, Tilt Cove is now a place where silence reigns and the past lingers in abandoned buildings. Residents here are the town council, maintenance crew, and entire voting population, all in Tilt Cove. There are no stores, no gas stations, no doctors, just a handful of people living with what they have in Tilt Cove. The nearest services are a long, treacherous drive away from Tilt Cove. In winter, snow can bury the only road, cutting Tilt Cove off for days or weeks. Yet those who remain in Tilt Cove find beauty in the rugged landscape and peace in solitude. For them, home is not about connection to the world, but about finding a place to be truly alone in Tilt Cove. Tilt Cove is a powerful reminder. Sometimes, isolation is a choice. Here in Tilt Cove, the past and present exist side by side in a world apart. Eureka, Nunavut. Next, we travel to Eureka, Nunavut, a research outpost on Ellesmere Island, often called the garden spot of the Arctic. That's right, Eureka, one of the most remote and coldest inhabited places in all of Canada. There are no permanent residents in Eureka, only rotating scientists and military personnel. Life here is ruled by extreme cold and months of darkness. Winter temperatures drop below -40 Celsius. Eureka is accessible only by air, with flights dependent on brutal weather. The nearest community is over 400 kilometers away. The isolation in Eureka is total. Being here feels like living on another planet. Researchers study climate and the Arctic ecosystem, facing polar bears and the psychological weight of the polar night. Eureka is not just a place, it's a test of endurance and resilience. It stands as a lonely beacon of science at the edge of the world. This is Gaultois. Welcome to Gaultois, a remote town on Newfoundland's southern shore, accessible only by ferry. In Gaultois, there are no roads, no cars, just boardwalks and staircases connecting homes on steep hillsides. The sea is everything here, highway provider and heart of the Gaultois community. With a dwindling, aging population, Gaultois faces an uncertain future. Fierce pride and deep community bonds keep Gaultois alive, even as young people leave. When storms hit, ferries stop, and Gaultois becomes truly isolated. Supplies run low, and emergencies become dangerous in Gaultois. In Gaultois, nature is always in charge. This is Atlin, British Columbia. Welcome to Atlin, in far northwestern British Columbia. This remote town sits on the shores of the province's largest natural lake, surrounded by mountains and ice fields. Once a gold rush boom town, Atlin is now home to just a few hundred residents. The only road in is a long, lonely drive from the Alaska Highway, reminding you just how isolated Atlin truly is. Life in Atlin is a trade-off, wilderness and beauty in exchange for limited services and harsh winters. Residents of Atlin are resourceful, independent, and deeply connected to nature. The silence of winter in Atlin is absolute, and the world becomes a vast expanse of white and blue. For those who stay in Atlin, isolation is the main attraction. Atlin is a sanctuary for those seeking wilderness over convenience. Here in Atlin, the greatest luxury is solitude. Churchill, Manitoba. Welcome to Churchill, famously known as the polar bear capital of the world. That's right, Churchill is the name of this remote northern town on the shores of Hudson Bay. Each autumn, hundreds of polar bears gather in Churchill, drawing tourists from around the globe. But for the people who call Churchill home, life is a constant balancing act. Churchill is so isolated, there are no roads in or out. Everything must arrive by train or plane. The cost of living in Churchill is high and the weather is harsh. Residents of Churchill coexist with polar bears, leaving car doors unlocked for quick escapes and relying on a polar bear patrol. The northern lights and beluga whales add to the stark beauty of Churchill. In Churchill, nature is always close, and adventure is part of daily life. To live in Churchill is to embrace unpredictability and a deep respect for the wild. Port Hope Simpson. On the wild coast of Labrador lies Port Hope Simpson, one of the loneliest towns in Canada. Port Hope Simpson was founded as a logging camp and later turned to fishing. With around 400 residents, Port Hope Simpson stands as a testament to endurance. The town survives through adaptability and self-reliance. The climate is harsh, winters long and snowy, and the highway can be treacherous or closed. People hunt, trap, and forage, sharing what they have with neighbors. Isolation breeds a strong sense of community. Neighbors are lifelines in Port Hope Simpson. Life here is quiet, hard, and deeply connected to the land. Port Hope Simpson embodies the spirit of coastal Labrador, strength, sharing, and belonging. Here in Port Hope Simpson, survival is a community effort. Fort McPherson. Welcome to Fort McPherson, Northwest Territories, a remarkable Gwich'in community just north of the Arctic Circle. Fort McPherson stands out for its remote location and unique way of life. Access depends on the season, by highway, ferry, or ice bridge, but sometimes only by air. Winters are long and cold, but the community comes alive, using frozen rivers as highways. Gwich'in culture and traditions are the backbone of survival here. Community events and shared knowledge keep people connected and strong. Outsiders may see loneliness, but residents of Fort McPherson find richness in history, culture, and community. Fort McPherson truly thrives at the edge of the Arctic. Moosonee. Welcome to Moosonee, Northern Ontario's remote outpost, perched on the shores of James Bay, far from the province's southern cities. There are no roads to Moosonee, just the Polar Bear Express train linking this isolated community to Cochrane in the south. The train is a lifeline for Moosonee, bringing in supplies and providing a vital social connection. Life in Moosonee is shaped by the wild expanse of James Bay and the rhythms of the land. Winters in Moosonee are long and cold. Summers bring boat traffic and traditional camps along the Moose River. Despite high costs and limited opportunities, Moosonee stands as a resilient meeting point of cultures, including nearby Moose Factory. Here, between Moosonee and Moose Factory, you truly feel on the edge of the map. Moosonee, a name you won't soon forget. Fogo Island. Welcome to Fogo Island, one of the loneliest and most remarkable towns in Canada. Fogo Island, off Newfoundland's northeast coast, is a patchwork of communities, salt box houses, and rugged landscapes. Accessible only by ferry, Fogo Island is famous for its drifting icebergs and fierce independence. Storms and sea ice can cut Fogo Island off for days, deepening its isolation. After the cod fishery collapsed, Fogo Islanders reinvented their economy through art and tourism. The Fogo Island Inn and community initiatives celebrate local culture and resilience. Deep community bonds and a unique dialect persist in Fogo Island. Here, loneliness is not emptiness, but a powerful solitude shaped by the North Atlantic. Fogo Island is a place where tradition and innovation meet, making it truly stand out among Canada's loneliest towns. Dawson City. Welcome to Dawson City, Yukon, once the heart of the Klondike Gold Rush, a city of 30,000. Today, Dawson City is home to just over 1,000 residents surrounded by wilderness and history. The town preserves its frontier look, with wooden boardwalks and historic buildings that make Dawson City unique. Dawson City is over 500 kilometers from Whitehorse, and winters here are severe. The Yukon River becomes an ice road, and temperatures in Dawson City can plunge to -50. Summer brings tourists and energy to Dawson City, but winter residents form the town's true heart. Artists, miners, and adventurers are drawn to Dawson City by freedom and community. Dawson City is lonely in location, but rich in spirit. Even at the edge of the world in Dawson City, dreams endure. Churchill. From the Atlantic to the Arctic, we've explored Canada's loneliest towns, places defined by resilience and resourcefulness, but one town stands out: Churchill. Churchill, known as the polar bear capital of the world, thrives on bonds forged by hardship and mutual reliance. The silence, cold, and distance in Churchill are not just obstacles, they're defining features of a chosen life. For some, isolation in Churchill is freedom from noise, from crowds, from the relentless pace of modern life. It's a life lived by the rhythm of the seasons and tides, especially in Churchill where nature sets the pace. Would you live in Churchill, or is the loneliness too much? Let us know in the comments. Please smash that subscribe button for more hidden places in Canada.